We
A little
live.
bit
Hi,
late.
everybody. Nice to see you. Welcome to the FiveStack, the 5 biggest stories of the day with my friend Zev Shalev. Narrative.org is where you can find him. He's a genius.
I'm not a
My name is
genius.
Dean. I'm an idiot.
You're the genius, sir. Oh, let's play that game to start the show. Who's the genius? We're both
I don't think me.
geniuses.
Can I tell you a story about?
GI?
Yeah, I'll tell you a story about when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Everybody, you'll like this. So I'm in the 4th grade, and I get pulled out of my class with all my friends, and they're like, "We're going to send you for testing today." And they're like, what kind of testing?
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was like physical testing.
Yeah.
They're like, "Nah, we're going to send you for testing, like academic testing. So go into this room, talk to this person. They're going to want you to write some things and answer some questions, and then, come out when you're done." I said, "Okay." I'm
Yeah.
4th grade. So I take this test. Then 2 days later, I get moved into this classroom full of people that I don't know.
Yeah.
So apparently tested for this gifted program at the school I was in. And I was so turned off by the fact none of my friends were in this class.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm sure.
This is how smart I was and how smart I am. Don't you worry. I got this covered. I failed everything, created such a commotion in the gifted program. They're like, go back to the regular class. I'm like, yes,
So
thank you very much.
You were suspected of being smart, I guess, for a little bit there.
Suspected is a good word, yeah.
And then you also were able to fake stupid at the same time.
Yeah, which is like a next level of smart.
Yeah, that's pretty smart. I mean, that just proves your smartness, and it proves a certain kind of smartness. It proves a certain kind of street smartness.
And I was like 9 or 10 at the time.
Yeah,
right.
You're 9 or 10, you can be street smart, I think.
Oh, I've definitely got that gift. I try not to employ it too much because it leads to terrible things. But yeah, I but when it comes to other things, I'm an idiot. That's why I love working with you. If you can actually latch on to someone who's really smart, who's really motivated, who's really good at what they do, your life is going to be okay. That is the premise behind marriage, in my opinion. Latch on to someone who's better than you all the time. So Zev and I have this incredible digital marriage.
Are we getting married?
I think we're together. I think we're a couple. I think we're a digital couple. Zev Shalev, narrative.org. Go there right now. Read The Greatest Heist.
I'm latching on to you, by the way. So
I think I'm latching on to you.
So we're both latching.
Mutual latching. Yeah, we're.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. You're also latching onto us. Thank you for latching onto us. It's nice for you to join us while we're having this supposed intimate conversation. So many big news stories developing today, Dean. A massive, massive news day, and we're a little late, so I should get going. The biggest story.
And by the way, it's your fault.
It is entirely my fault. There's no doubt about it. And the number 5 stories, Hegseth's kill order. So Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth sat in today's cabinet meeting just days after the Washington Post reported he gave spoken order to kill the entire crew of a suspected drug boat. And when 2 survivors were detected, Admiral Frank Bradley directed a second strike to comply with the no one left behind order, or no one left alive order, I should say. Pentagon officials are furious at the White House scapegoating strategy, which they say is basically protecting Pete bullshit, quote unquote, while Carolyn Levitt emphasized that Bradley directed the engagement. Congress is now investigating whether the strikes constitute war crimes. They clearly do, but we'll see what the investigation says. But this is a big story. This idea that they could scapegoat Mr. Bradley here is just nonsense.
Yeah, well, listen, this fits the Trump MO, is that you've got plausible deniability. Everybody's at arm's length. You tell them to go do some terrible things like a mob lord or mob fucking chief would do. And then when they do it, they go to jail and you continue to live happy and free and you get to continue to enrich yourself. But let me just insert something. So a couple of things that I want to cover when it comes to the demise of Pete Hegseth, and it is fucking coming. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. Pete Hegseth is going to jail. Pete Hegseth is in trouble, if not in the United States, with the International Criminal Court for doing what Trump asked him to do. Now, how do I know he asked him to do it? About 10 minutes ago, the Pentagon just blew up the White House's entire cover story when it comes to narco-terrorists, Venezuela. We're going to invade Venezuela after we kill all the narco-terrorists. These were fishermen. These were people on boats. Don't know if any of them were driving drugs because they will not tell us that. And there is no due diligence to
They
suggest
don't
these
know.
guys were
They have
narco
no
terrorists. Like
idea.
zero fucking idea. They're just blowing boats out of the water. This double tap thing, there is video of it. You've got people like Admiral Halsey, who's in charge of the Southern Command of the Caribbean, stepped down because of it. You had 10 JAG officers currently serving and previously serving that were fired by the administration or the regime so that they could continue to skate on shit like this. But let me explain something to you.
Mm.
A Pentagon spokesperson not in Pete Hegseth's pocket just addressed dozens of mainstream media reporters in a Pentagon briefing.
Is this Kingsley Wilson or is this another president?
Kingsley Wilson openly confirming that the Caribbean strikes, including the follow-on strike that hit survivors, were presidentially directed, fully backed by Pete Hegseth. There is no more hiding behind Admiral Bradley. There is no more hiding behind narco-terrorism. There is no more hiding. Pete Hegseth, and I want you to bookmark this, whatever date it is, December the 2nd, 3:22 p.m., mark it, book it. Pete Hegseth is going to fucking jail for murdering. And Donald Trump is not far fucking behind him for murdering 76 human beings so that they could create micro content that would enable them to tell a story to the American people about why they needed to steal Venezuela's oil. That is happening right fucking now.
And you don't have to take Dean's word for it. Here is Kingsley herself.
Can you talk about the autonomy that's given to the commanders who are carrying out these operations, like Admiral Bradley, to make decisions? Like in this case, I'm assuming the first strike took out the boat and any actions that followed. Can you talk about the autonomy they're given?
Absolutely. So the Secretary has been very clear in every statement that we've released about these strikes that they are presidentially directed. And the chain of command functions as it should. And we make sure that commanders on the ground their positions are taken into account, and they are able to tell us and make decisions if they see things that need to be flagged. But at the end of the day, the Secretary and the President are the ones directing these strikes. And any follow-on strikes like those which were directed by Admiral Bradley, the Secretary 100% agrees with.
Well, that's pretty clear, isn't it? I mean, she did say the president and the secretary there, and she said the secondary strike, 100% in agreement with the secretary. So that's the Pentagon and the military doing what it should be doing, just fighting back against this ridiculous attempt to scapegoat a career commander there for no good reason, just because they want to protect the president and the secretary from these allegations, which seem to be quite true. I mean, they basically killed people who were defenseless, clinging onto a boat in the water. I mean, it's.
Have you seen many people in the middle of the Caribbean Ocean clinging to a boat a couple miles offshore of South America that were a threat to America's national security? Have you ever seen that?
I mean, entirely not a threat to obviously to anybody. They're the ones under threat, and they're the ones who were shot out of existence by the American Secretary of War for no good reason. For a war, by the way, that doesn't even exist. It's not even a war. It's a made-up thing.
It's just straight up fucking murder.
Yeah, it's just straight up. Yeah, for
that's
no
all
good
it
reason.
Is. It's straight up fucking murder. And Hegseth said he did watch the second boat strike. He says he didn't stay around. This is Hegseth this morning in a fucking in a cabinet meeting where Trump looks like he's gonna fucking die.
Yeah,
and we'll address that in just a second. But you want an administration, a regime on its fucking knees. Watch this video. Listen to Pete Hegseth.
We've had a bit of a pause because it's hard to find boats to strike right now. Which is the entire point, right? Deterrence has to matter, not arrest and hand over and then do it again, the rinse and repeat approach of previous administrations. This is meant to get after that approach. And I will just end by saying, as President Trump always has our back, we always have the back of our commanders who are making decisions in difficult situations, and we do in this case and all these strikes. They're making judgment calls and ensuring that they defend the American people. They've done the right things. We'll keep doing that, and we have their backs, Mr. President.
Good job. Thank you very much.
He is literally pointing out Bradley as the guy, and he's saying, I have your back, as he's throwing him under the bus. He doesn't have his back at all. He's just blaming him for something that he did.
Yeah, yep. And listen, you just heard Kingsley Wilson, Pentagon spokesperson, and don't for a second underscore the importance of Kingsley Wilson standing there with real men and women that serve in America's armed forces saying, go tell the fucking truth, that are involved in the Pentagon. And she went out there and publicly divorced Donald Trump, publicly divorced Pete Hegseth, and said, hey, you want to point a fucking finger? Point it right at the chain of command, which starts with the president who directed these attacks and goes right to Pete Hegseth, who told Admiral Bradley to do exactly what we're talking about today. And she didn't mince words. She was direct, and she fucking basically sold out the president of the United States in a Pentagon briefing. I cannot underscore the importance of this. And if you're watching this, share this with as many people as you can. Hammer those hearts. Hit that little box with the arrow. Share this with as many people as humanly possible, because what we're seeing right now is the demise of Donald Trump. When you watch that video of Pete Hegseth ruminating with fucking slick hair, Donald Trump bent over like this, like a fucking curmudgeon, like Ebenezer Scrooge in a Christmas Carol. He's like, thank you very much. That guy and Pete Hegseth are in so much fucking trouble as I sit here today. It's incalculable.
Yeah. Do you want to hear what the reporter asked Trump about this?
Thank you so much for taking questions with your assembled cabinet. I wanted to clarify something that you had said on Sunday regarding the boat strikes near Venezuela.
Yep.
You had said that you didn't know if the second strike on that one boat had happened, but you wouldn't have wanted it. Now that your administration has acknowledged that it happened, do you support that second strike? And Mr. Secretary, I want to clarify something you had said in an interview back in September, I believe on Fox News. You said that you had watched that strike live on television. In real time, did you know that there were survivors after the initial strike?
Well, look, all I know is this. Every boat that you see get blown up, we save 25,000 on average lives. 25,000 lives. They've been sending enough of this horrible fentanyl and other things like cocaine.
Zero
things,
fentanyl.
But
Zero
right
cocaine.
now is the leader of the pack to kill our entire nation. Because a little speck on the head of a pin can kill somebody. It's very dangerous stuff. I know so many people where their sons were drug addicts. They had one little sample, and they died. They died. They couldn't believe it. As far as the attack is concerned,
they couldn't believe it because they were dead or something.
I still have a lot of information because I rely on Pete. But to me,
I couldn't believe it.
They couldn't believe they died.
Somebody asked me a question.
Yeah, I guess.
He's not well. I can't even listen to him. I can't even listen to this stuff. But
he's so fucked. That's another conversation a little later on in the FiveStack. But listen, what you're seeing now, and I think everybody needs to take a minute and rejoice in the fact that a kakistocracy and idiocracy Donald Trump has put together with the dumbest fucking human beings in the history of the American political administration. They just dug their grave, and they're literally swimming in it right now. Like, this is murder. Donald Trump ordered the murder of private citizens for a psyop so he could invade Venezuela, so he could steal their fucking oil.
Yeah.
That's what you're watching.
It's really all about the oil. There's nothing else there. He plans to go to war with Venezuela, which is kind of crazy. Just one second. Sorry.
Yeah, and listen, here's the thing. I don't give a shit about Venezuela. I love Venezuela. I've never been to Venezuela. I'm sure the Venezuelan people are like Canadian people, like Mexican people, like American people. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're lovely. And Nicolas Maduro, he's a socialist dictator. He needs to go. Sure, great, good stuff. That's great. But the Venezuelan people get to decide that. Donald Trump doesn't get to decide that.
Yeah.
And what he's doing so he can decide that, so he can parlay this whole regime change into literally taking over one of the biggest oil reserves in the fucking world next to Canada, which, by the way, he's threatened us with called us narco terrorists, if you remember back 10 months ago when he leveled us with those. You guys a bunch of fucking. It's the same fucking pattern, the same fucking playbook. It's the same thing every single fucking time, which is, well, they were going to kill all the Americans. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And at the same time that Pete Hegseth is out there blaming Admiral Frank Bradley for doing this second strike, we now have evidence that he was actually there and witnessed the whole thing. We absolutely want to see the original tapes from inside the Pentagon, which will tell us what orders he gave. But on Fox News, on the day it happened or the day after it happened, he was quite happy to say that he had seen the whole thing.
So the president is sending a message to other cartels, right?
A very clear one. I can tell you that was definitely not artificial intelligence. I watched it live. We knew exactly who was in that boat. We knew exactly what they were doing, and we knew exactly who they represented. And that was Tren de Aragua, a narco-terrorist organization designated by the United States, trying to poison our country with illicit drugs.
So he was there.
Speaking
he
of
was
poisoning
watching
your country with illicit drugs, Pete Hegseth, no stranger to illicit drugs and alcohol, by the way.
Yeah, Honduras president either, Honduran president as well. So, this is evidence, I think, that at least puts him in place there. We know he was watching. We know he was listening to the commands. We have evidence that he gave the command. That's going to come out. I mean, clearly the unedited tapes are going to show us who gave these commands, and that
Kingsley Wilson said he gave the commands to a Pentagon spokesperson who works for him, said it came from Hegseth, it came from Trump. Now, listen, here's the other part of this that's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
If America doesn't deal with this, the international criminal courts will. And the European Union is not a fucking slouch at the moment. And in my conversation with Danish intelligence expert Jacob Karsbo, who's been on the show several times, if you go and watch it a little bit earlier, we did one today. It's currently at deanblundell.substack.com. You can watch it. It's free. There's no paywall. I encourage everybody to go watch it. I think it's really important that people understand what's going on. And what's going to happen to Pete Hegseth? Because this is the Schadenfreude portion of the nightmare that Donald Trump and his regime have forced us to live through. Is if America doesn't do something about it, the international criminal courts and the EU absolutely fucking will. They cut off communications with the United States, not just Denmark, not just Holland, not just Canada, not just Norway, not just the EU countries. They literally have prevented, because they don't want to be accomplices to this, and they've been screaming about it for fucking weeks.
Yeah. Look, it's not
Pete Hegseth is in fucking trouble, and Donald Trump is not far behind.
I think what we saw there today earlier with the the Pentagon's spokesperson, is a sign that the military itself is protecting the Constitution, is doing the things that it needs to do to protect the Constitution against what it considers an illegitimate president. It's no longer taking orders from this guy. And if he thinks he's going to be able to launch a war under these circumstances, having lost an admiral recently and now blaming another admiral for this event, I mean, it's not going to happen. These wars are not going to happen because they're illegal wars and they're illegal orders that they keep asking the military to pass. And they're protecting the rank and file by doing this, by coming out publicly and speaking out against Donald Trump and Hegseth. They're protecting the rank and file, but most importantly, they're protecting the American Constitution, which is their fundamental mission in life. And they're doing it quietly, but very, very effectively.
Yeah, and you know what, dude? I think that is one of the great portions of this conversation. One of the really incredible takeaways is watching Kingsley Wilson stand there and go, no. It's those two cats. It's not us. It's those two cats.
Yeah.
We've warned them. We've told them. They won't listen. They continue to murder people. Effectively, what she's saying is that, to your point, we serve the American Constitution. We do not serve a dictator. And we certainly don't serve a drunk Fox Weekend news anchor turned fucking the Secretary of Defense, turned the Secretary of War, who works for an illegitimate organization, a breakaway shadow Department of Defense organization that he has deemed the Department of War because he's a dumb fuck.
Yeah. I mean, the leaders that this man has chosen for America's institutions, like Kash Patel yesterday exposed for not even wanting to leave a plane because he did not have the right FBI raid gear. Did you see that report?
Oh, no, dude, that report's incredible. So, like, you want to talk idiocracy, Kash Patel.
Absolutely.
He goes to Charlie Kirk's shooting, lands that day, refuses to get off the plane unless he's got an FBI raid coat on.
Yeah.
And he's such a diminutive, tiny little fuck.
That's get it from a girl? I mean, basically.
That every guy that was like, here, sir, you can take this. He was swimming in it. He's like 5'2". And he's like, this is not going to work. I need a coat that works. And so they go and get a coat from a female FBI officer, but it doesn't have the Velcro FBI badge on the front.
Yeah.
And he's like, I need a better coat one, and I refuse to get off this plane. I refuse to do anything unless someone brings me a fucking coat with a Velcro patch, FBI raid coat with a Velcro patch that says FBI. And so they fucking managed to figure it out. They give him one.
Some of the other officers gave him these FBI patches that they wear. And then he does go out. But meanwhile, these people are actually in the middle of a major crime. They're investigating the murder and assassination of Charlie Kirk. This is when he arrives on his private plane that the FBI provides him, and he throws a diva tantrum because he hasn't got the right gear. I mean,
well, keep in mind, this is the same FBI director that's given his girlfriend a 26-year-old Russian asset.
She had
SWAT protection, like Secret Service protection.
I didn't know she was an asset. Is she an asset?
Oh yeah, she's totally a fucking Russian asset. Dude, yeah, they're all like Katie. They're all fucking assets, and they've all met through the Epstein network. This is a story that's going to break in months from now. But I can tell you this: a lot of those wives, specifically Donald Trump's wife, who I fucking hate Christmas. I fucking hate Christmas. Why do I have to do the decorations for Christmas? Yeah. She banged Jeffrey Epstein before Donald Trump had a shot at it. She was part of the Epstein funnel, and that is coming out. I guess
that's
gonna
true.
Fucking come
that's
out.
Not even that's not even contestable. That is just what happened. They swapped. He basically gave her as a girlfriend.
Yeah,
the whole model thing. By the way, we haven't the time to talk about it on the show today, but that model thing is about to explode. This whole that whole trade of modeling that happened way back in the 80s, 90s into the 2000s of all these European women that are being funneled into these sex slave lives, that is going to blow in the next couple of days. It's just bubbling. It's just waiting to come out. But we don't have even time for that.
And once again, you have the kakistocracy to thank for that. You have the idiocracy to thank for that, because Justice Berman realized there were 300 unredacted extra victims in the DOJ's Epstein release files. And they're like, oh, fuck. These women are from Bulgaria, Russia, England, France, Ukraine, a bunch of different countries. Now we have to go and figure things out for them, too. Listen, this is, as awful as all of this is actually really, really good news for democracy and the United States of America, that Trump has surrounded himself with the dumbest fucks on the planet.
It is. Do you see Kristi Noem today? With her, thank you for saving us from hurricanes moments. I was like, does it actually work like that? I don't have that clip. I thought I did. Maybe it is here. Maybe
She's
it is here.
Dude, and Trump's like, thank you, you're welcome. There was a point in the cabinet meeting today where she's like, Mr. President Trump, we can't thank you enough. I just want you to know, no major hurricane has hit the United States of America, and you did that. And he's like, you're welcome.
Yeah, and he believes it, right? He totally believes it. He thinks that he actually saved the hurricanes. I thought I had that moment. Maybe I do. Maybe I'll play it later on. There's just too much stuff open on my plate right here. But let's get on to the other story. Now, story number 4, which is a story you are loving because it comes from deanblundell.substack.com. And it's all about Trump's MRI. He has no idea what body part he's MRI scanned, although we now have some extra details about all of that. The White House released a memo Monday declaring Trump's October MRI at Walter Reed was perfectly normal, covering his cardiovascular system and abdomen, apparently. But when asked about the scan, Trump told reporters he had no idea which body part was examined, only that it wasn't his brain, because he had aced a cognitive test. The contradiction between excellent overall health claims and a president who can't recall what part of his own body was scanned has everyone demanding more transparency. And you bring it to us on deanblundell.substack.com. What's going on with the president's MRI?
Yeah, I don't know if you have the clip of him on Air Force One, but let's lump dementia into this, and then I'll point to some very serious missing information when it comes to a letter that the physician to the president, his name is Dr. Sean Barbarella, who's a fucking osteopath, not a guy that performs MRIs, not a physician. He's not a fucking real doctor. He's just not. He's an osteopath. He's a doctor for old fucks.
Pull that up for you because it's such a good letter. Let me see if I can actually get that.
I've got it right here. I'll read it to you. It's phenomenal. It's really interesting. And then we're going to get to Trump's first letter from his other doctor back in 2016, and you'll start to see a bit of a fucking pattern.
You think they're lying? You don't think they're lying, are they? Are they lying?
Yeah, I think they are.
I've got this letter. I can't really read it, but it's here.
Letterhead, physician to the president of the White House. Memorandum, July 17th, 2025. Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary from. So they've fudged the fucking date because there's no way they're producing this.
Mm-hmm.
So he has an MRI on the 16th. On the 17th, his osteopath, who's not a fucking doctor, puts this note out. He's his physician. And this is a letter to Caroline Leavitt, Sean Barbarella, physician to the president, captain of the U.S. Navy, who's clearly fucking captured. A subject, President Donald J. Trump's health status update. In recent weeks, Donald Trump noted mild swelling in his lower legs in keeping with routine medical. And out of an abundance of caution, this concern was thoroughly evaluated by the White House medical unit. The president underwent comprehensive examination, including diagnostic vascular studies, bilateral lower extremity, venous Doppler ultrasounds were performed in chronic venous insufficiency, a benign common condition. Laboratory testing included complete blood count, comprehensive metabolic panel, coagulation profile, D-dimer, B-type, da-da-da-da-da-da. And then they go on, Dr. Barbarella puts out another note, and the other note says, we've done scans on his respiratory system and his abdomen.
Is that this note? No, this is a different note. This is a different guy, right?
It's a different note.
Okay.
Yeah, we've done scans on his respiratory system and his abdomen, all clear. What was missing from that letter? What was missing from that statement?
I didn't say anything about an MRI.
His fucking brain.
Oh, yeah.
Said his abdominals are great. He's perfect. He's great.
He's left it out. It's possible. I mean, I wouldn't put anything past these guys. I mean,
dude, he has dementia.
Mm-hmm.
He is fucked in the head with dementia. He is a crippled old man who has the inability to make any decision, formulate thought, finish a fucking thought, put a fucking sentence together. And Dr. Sean Barbarella goes, his abdomen's great, his respiratory system's great, everything's great. That's all you need to know about the MRI. Not one mention about the one body part that is ruining the United States of America, which is Donald Trump's dementia-laden adult brain, which he has a diagnosis for that he refuses to admit, refuses to talk about, that is so held so close to the vest with everybody in and around Trump that actually knows about it. And we know. We can fucking see it.
Dementia? Do you think this might be a clue?
100%. Absolutely.
The brain, because I took a cognitive test and I aced it. I got a perfect mark, which you would be incapable of doing. Goodbye, everybody. You too.
Oh my gosh.
Did you see that? He's asked on Air Force One like 3 days ago. They're like, what part of the body was the MRI on it? What part of the body? I don't know, but it wasn't my brain because 5 years ago I took a cognitive test and I was fucking perfect and I aced it like that perfect phone call with Ukraine. And here's the other thing. Everything that is a lie, he calls perfect. I don't know if you've noticed that, like the lie about the perfect call with Ukraine, perfect, lie about his perfect health. That's a lie. He's fucked. He's fucked and everybody knows it. His doctors know it. And here's the thing. The fact that they're keeping all of that information from the American people as America swirls the fucking bowl.
Yeah.
Is everybody that is hiding this information needs to go to the fucking brig. They need to go to jail.
Oh, yeah. Everybody in that regime needs to go to jail. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Everybody in that regime, every single person is committing crimes every single day. It's beyond, you can't even defend it. And I think even Republicans have begun to realize that everyone in the regime is committing crimes every day. And if they continue to support the regime, they'll be committing crimes as well. So your Republicans in Congress just saying, hey, we can't handle this anymore. A president that's clearly cognitively deficient, that's clearly not operating on the way he used to or operating like any human being under the age of 50 would do. So this guy is 80 years old, and this is the problem. We can't keep electing people who are 80 years old to the office. We should try, people maybe who can think a little bit clearly. Here's Caroline Leavitt, by the way. You wanted this clip.
Release the results of his MRI.
Sorry, can you pause that for a second?
Sure.
Yeah, pause it, and then
We'll get back to it in a second,
let's start it in just a second.
Okay.
If you think I'm telling a lie, if you think I'm making this up, I want you to listen very carefully to every word that comes out of MAGA Barbie's disgusting mouth. She's not only a liar, she's complicit in helping pedophiles get away with pedophilia. And now she's lying on behalf of the Trump regime. And there's going to be a day where she gives an interview, Caroline Levitt. She's going to go, I was just following orders.
Mhm.
I want you to watch this clip where they ask her about the MRI.
He would release the results of his MRI. Is that happening right now?
It is happening right now. As part of, and this is a summary from the president's physician, and we will release it right now. I think my team has it teed up for all of you. I'll read it for you, and then you'll get it physically as well. As part of President Trump's comprehensive executive physical, advanced imaging was performed because men in his age group benefit from a thorough evaluation of cardiovascular and abdominal health. The purpose of this imaging is preventative, to identify any issues early, confirm overall health, and ensure the president maintains long-term vitality and function. President Trump's cardiovascular imaging was perfectly normal. No evidence of arterial narrowing impairing blood flow or abnormalities in the heart or major vessels. The heart chambers are normal in size, the vessel walls appear smooth and healthy, and there are no signs of inflammation or clotting. Overall, his cardiovascular system shows excellent health. His abdominal imaging is also perfectly normal.
Perfect.
All major organs appear very healthy and well perfused. Everything evaluated is functioning within normal limits with no acute or chronic concerns. In summary, this level of detailed assessment is standard for an executive physical at President Trump's age and confirms that he remains in excellent overall health. Again, we will provide that to you. I think that's quite a bit of detail, and in the effort of transparency, the president promised it last night, and we have delivered today. So there you go.
Because they said so. It's true. Everybody.
Did you notice a body part that was missing?
I think you mentioned the brain was missing. I think the
Yeah.
brain's missing. But you know that happens. Sometimes you just make an administrative error. You leave out, someone's brain when you're assessing
because
their full
everybody's talking
body
about
parts.
the brain and dementia. It's nice of you to want to fucking go down that. They'll give him an out road, but no, dude, that was a lie.
Yeah,
that was a lie told to the American people. He's defrauding the American people about his health. He's lying about his dementia. He is hiding his dementia diagnosis. And on top of it, I don't know if you listened, but the word perfect appeared 4 times.
Yeah.
It's perfect. He's perfect. He's perfect. It's what Donald Trump, he's such a micromanager. He's telling her, this is what you go out, you tell him it's perfect. You tell him my abdomen's perfect. You tell him all this stuff's perfect. Excellent health. The best health I've ever seen. I don't know if you have the letter from his 2016 physical, which he dictated to his doctor, Dr. Bornstein.
This one.
Can you read it out loud?
It says, I've been the personal physician of Donald J. Trump since 1980. His previous physician was my father, Dr. Jacob Bornstein. Over the past 39 years, I am blessed to report that Mr. Trump had no significant medical problems. Really? Pleased, sorry, not blessed. Pleased to report.
Same diff.
Mr. Trump has had, I'm sorry, it's a little actually small for me to read here, but Mr. Trump has had recent complete medical examination that showed only positive results. Actually, his blood pressure 110/65, and laboratory test results were astonishingly excellent. Over the past 12 months, he has lost at least 15 pounds. Mr. Trump takes 81 milligrams of aspirin daily and low doses of a statin. His PSA test score is 0.15, which is very low. His physical strength and stamina are extraordinary. Mr. Trump has suffered no form of cancer, has never had a hip, knee, or shoulder replacement, or any other orthopedic surgery. His only surgery was an appendectomy at age 10. His cardiovascular status is excellent. He's had no history of ever using alcohol or tobacco products. If elected, Mr. Trump I can state unequivocally, will be the healthiest individual ever elected to the presidency. Harold N. Bornstein, MD, Department of Medicine, Section of Gastroenterology at Lenox Hill Hospital in New York, New York.
So what came from that after Bornstein put it out? Extraordinary. He might be able to live to 180.
Yeah.
What came after that was Bornstein going, I didn't write that shit. Donald Trump dictated it.
Yeah,
I
just
said,
that, eh?
okay, I'll put my signature on it because he paid me, and we haven't heard from Bornstein since. Trump is medically, emotionally, and mentally fucked.
Yeah, he is. But he's also a liar, and we've known that forever. And he's a criminal, and we've known that for a long time too.
Well, we just bore that out.
And
right.
Twice today, we've seen that he's lied, and we're only in story number 4. We better get into story number 3 in the countdown today, which involves your favorite, RFK Jr. The CDC's vaccine advisory panel, now stacked with Kennedy appointees, plans to vote on Thursday on ending universal hepatitis B vaccination at birth, a shot credited with a 99% drop in infections since 1991. Panel chair Kirk Meehan, I don't know how you say that, if that's correct, but it's Meehan, who called for halting mRNA vaccines in March, says they're scrutinizing whether aluminium adjuvants cause allergies despite 70 years of safe use. Industry officials say removing aluminium would cost billions and could pull vaccines from the market. This hepatitis B thing is a big deal, and it's obviously they're taking people down a very scary path.
Are you surprised?
Oh, none of this is surprising me. I'm not surprised by any of this. None of it none of it at all surprises me one bit anymore.
Yeah.
It's just a parade of terrible things that they keep putting America through, and it's unfortunately in this case it affects actual people. It affects children.
Yeah.
It affects people who are going to grow up without these vaccinations. It's going to reintroduce diseases into America that we've not had for a long time, and it's going to and why are we building an unhealthier country? I don't understand the logic behind that.
They want to kill people, dude. It's really simple. Like I'm done mincing words. I'm done parsing language. RFK Jr. is a fucking moron. Like every other person in the cabinet's a fucking moron, completely unqualified for the position that they hold to protect and serve the American people. RFK Jr. drinks iodine on a daily basis. RFK Jr. says heroin cured his ADHD. RFK Jr. is literally embroiled in one of the horniest fucking scandals on the planet because he wanted to treat Olivia Newsy like a canyon to his river. I won't get into it. RFK also sanctioned Olivia Newsy taking. I know.
I never look at a canyon the same way again.
Yeah,
or
a river,
or a river for that matter.
I'll see at the top of the river microwave Mel Gibson with his wiener out, and that's exactly what I'm going to see every time I look at a river.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God!
There's a river. Where's the canyon? Who's the canyon? Olivia Newsy. And by the way, American Canto came out, and I did download it, so I'm going to read it, and I'll
the whole
give you
book.
full report.
You're going to read the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm a try. Olivia
Can we do a
Newsy is one of
special?
the
Can we
worst
do a
fucking
special?
writers on the planet.
Could you read
Not
it for us?
No, it's not really worth a special.
Okay.
Because there's a whole other aspect to this that is so important to the death of liberty and the kettling of perception in America that's really important that Ryan Liz is trying to tell that story. But anyway, we'll have that conversation another time. RFK Jr. is literally trying to murder Americans on behalf of Donald Trump. He's literally trying, and this was the gift that Donald Trump gave him when RFK was like, okay, I'll stop running for president and then I'll just support you, but you didn't make me the HHS secretary, and I can save people from all the autism, and we'll get rid of Tylenol, and then we'll stop all the vaccines.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what he's doing. That was the deal that they made. And Donald Trump, in his infinite deal making, literally put a fucking heroin addict that ate roadkill, has a brain worm, and cut the head off a fucking beached whale, strapped to the top of his fucking car, and told everybody along the way, by the way, heroin cured my ADHD. You should do heroin for 14 years. Wow.
And now he's telling everyone that they shouldn't have vaccines. I mean,
don't listen to him.
Don't listen to him. It's bad advice, and it's not a good time with him.
Go get all your vaccines. The MMR, go get them all. Stay on schedule. Do not listen to anything this fuck says.
Any changes they actually make here are really devastating to children's health. This is not something that it's easy to turn back, and we don't know when they'll be able to turn back. And so you can make your own decisions, but it also means that a lot of things that had previously been covered by your healthcare or previously been covered by public health might not be covered in the future. So it is actually impacting real lives. And it's astonishing that this is happening. I mean, there's no other way to describe how important these vaccines are, how important it is for all our health. In our number 2 story, Jared Kushner made his first appearance in Putin's Kremlin today, alongside Steve Witkoff, getting a Moscow tour from Putin's money man before sitting down with a Russian. I didn't see
You
the
see that
tour. I didn't see it.
Dmitriev and Kushner and Witkoff walking
saw the
around
picture.
downtown
Yeah.
Moscow,
I didn't see the
pointing
video.
out, that's where you can put the Trump Tower. That's what they told him today.
Oh, wow. Well, they know how to get an asset, don't they? That's exactly the line they use. Now, they've obviously talking about the peace proposal, and the so-called peace proposal has been trimmed now from 28 points to 20, with Zelensky calling it better, while a U.S. official warned Witkoff might make a Russian counter-proposal sound like it's a great deal. Now, these guys are being groomed. Clearly, Witkoff is already an asset, but it seems that Kushner is now also being, treated like he's one. But this is a remarkable cash grab by the president and his cronies.
Can I ask you, to your point,
Yeah.
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered why Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, has never gone to Moscow?
It's a good question. I don't know why he's never gone to Moscow.
Have you ever wondered why Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, has never met with the Russian delegation?
Well, because Witkoff is the cutout that they're choosing to use in order to speak to the president. I mean, clearly this guy's a part of the Russian mob and is on their team. So any negotiations that are happening there are not sort of real negotiations. They're just orders being given to Witkoff by Vladimir Putin to give to Donald Trump. I mean, basically, that's the chain of command when you look at these Russian negotiations. And now they're trying to rope in Jared Kushner with a lot of money. I mean,
well, Jared Kushner's the deal guy, right? Witkoff is the relationship. Can I ask you another couple questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm asking you these questions on purpose, by the way. I
Yes,
don't know
I
if you
got that.
noticed that, because you know you have the answers. It's like,
got that.
it's what a good lawyer does, is where it's like, I know the answer, I'm going to ask you the question, and I'm going to fucking hit you over the head with it.
Okay, got it.
Have you, at any point in time, wondered not just why Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State's not involved, but why Steve Witkoff was appointed the special envoy just to Russia?
Wasn't he the envoy to the Middle East, actually? And then he actually was turned into the one for Russia?
You got it.
Yeah.
But have you ever wondered what Steve Witkoff's relationship is with the Russian mob, Russian oligarchs, and Vladimir Putin?
His relationship is with the Russian
Can you
mob.
explain that to us?
Well, he's I think the guy's name was Galepchik or something like that. He's like mob boss handler. I don't know what you call it in that world, but the person who he was fronting, I think, a Trump condo for, I think was the what they discovered a few years ago. I mean, Witkoff is just part of that whole thing. He runs the Russian mob, I think, in the United States, basically, in Trump's absence. While Trump is the president, you've got Witkoff basically doing the mob bidding in the United States, but he also happens to be an advisor because they need someone inside the White House in order to be able to, steer policy, to steer negotiations, to do everything that they need to do in order to get the deal that Vladimir Putin really, really wants. So that's what I think.
Now, when you think about the fact that Marco Rubio has never set foot into a meeting with Russia outside of Lavrov in Saudi Arabia, and you consider what's at stake, and Jacob Karsbo and I had a great conversation about this, former Danish intelligence officer today, former member of the UN Security Council, about that Saudi Arabia meeting, which was attended to by the Russian Arctic boss at the time.
Yeah.
And Kirill Dmitriev and Usharov, the same guy that was on the phone with Witkoff. We've seen the transcripts. This deal has been cooked up for over a year. And what Witkoff and Kushner are in Moscow to do isn't to deliver a peace plan. It's to sign contracts for Rosneft, Lukoil, Nord Stream 2, and several other energy projects to legitimize Russia on the financial world stage again, and to announce that Ukraine is no longer a viable partner. That's what's going to happen. And it's not only going to happen sooner than you think. If it doesn't happen at the end of today, I'd be shocked. And that's what we're talking about yesterday in the conversation that we had on the FiveStack when it comes to the EU, Canada, and the coalition of willing to devalue the American economy, willing to go all in Russia, in Ukraine, to defeat Russia in Ukraine, because they want to prevent not just the profit taking off the genocide of the Ukrainian people and 30,000 kidnapped children that are being trafficked around the world right now. They also want to get to the bottom of the Epstein files. And there's a race going on right now to get these deals signed, to legitimize Russia's sovereignty in Ukraine over contested land they haven't even fucking touched. Not just the land that they've invaded that Ukraine has beat them back with heroically. But there is an operation at play here where there's going to be an announcement, not the announcement of a deal between Russia and Ukraine, an announcement from Donald Trump that he recognizes Donbass, Crimea, and all those contested parts of Ukraine as Russian territory, and fuck Ukraine.
Yeah.
And that's when the carving up Ukraine begins, and that's what these meetings are all about. You can take that to the bank based on Danish intelligence, Jacob Karsbo, Lev Parnas, Malcolm Nance,
and me.
Jason
I reported it
Smart,
on Sunday, I think, on narrative.org.
you on Sunday on Narrative. I mean,
Friday,
that's
I
what
don't know
this
it was.
is about.
Yeah.
That is why Marco Rubio is not involved, because Donald Trump is all about cash. How can I make the Trump crime family richer, generationally richer? How do I do deals where I look like I'm a fucking hero? It has nothing to do, never did, with peace in Ukraine, never did. He doesn't give a fuck about the Ukrainian people, and that is why the EU is readying that two-pronged response that we talked about yesterday, militarily and financially.
Look, I mean, none of these things are going to come to fruition. That's the other thing. Is this is in terms of the peace deal, none of it's going to come to fruition. This is just a delay tactic, another step in the, in a long path that is just never going to reach peace until they are actually defeated. And that's going to require a change of regime in the United States, or it's going to require the United States to back out, and Europe to really get in there and fight the fight. But otherwise, there is no peace deal coming. We know that. These other deals, well, they're sweeteners. I mean, they certainly are going to make some people think, well, that's not a bad thing that we've got these deals, but they're deals with the devil. I mean, we can't have these deals with the devil. We can't have deals with Vladimir Putin. He's not to be trusted under any circumstances. He'll screw us in the end. And he's lying about most things. So there's no real deal here. It's just them looking performative, doing the things that they need to do to make it seem like they're, statesmen, but they're all just mobsters. They're all criminals. And worse of that, these are the assets of the Russian people that are basically being stolen by Putin and now being stolen by the American-Israeli mob, whatever you want to call it, and being laundered into the American economy. That's basically what we're going to be seeing.
Yeah. No, well said. I said at the end of a show yesterday is that, if you wanted me to brass tacks what's happening, is the Russian mob has been literally cooperated by Vladimir Putin and all his oligarchs. That's what runs Russia right now. It's the Russian mob, Vladimir Putin, who's done the business with the Russian mob.
Or the other way around. It could be that they own the Putin. I mean, whichever way you look at it.
No, I don't think so. I think Putin made them all partners in what he does.
Okay.
They've been doing business with America. That's been their through line into the United States of America. The mob, the Russian oligarchs, all these people that Trump has surrounded himself with, Witkoff has surrounded himself with, Felix Sater, every single one of those guys it's all there. I mean, Lev will tell you this because he was involved in it. He was the fucking chief mega fucking Russian mob sausage maker. Like he was. We talk about it all the time on these lives, and you can tell it too through your Greatest Heist series. You know that.
Yeah, of course.
And in America, there's an American mob that is fully funded by the Russian mob. So now you have the Russian mob that is infiltrated through Putin, America's way of life. They've got their guy in the White House. They've got their fucking fixer and their money launderer and Steve Witkoff literally trying to arrange. He's not going to do it because the Ukrainian people can't be bought.
Yeah.
Trying to arrange the death and the surrender of the Ukrainian people to carve up Ukraine so that all of those mobsters can continue to fucking get rich.
Even though they have been able clearly to get to the inner circle of Vladimir Zelensky, because it does seem like a lot of people around Zelensky have been corrupted. And we saw that the other day with Yermak's search of his home and his resignation. This is this principal deputy to Zelensky. It leaves me wondering a lot about what's really going on in that Ukrainian side as well. That even, are they actually contemplating selling out their own country for a deal or some sort of deals? And that is a really worrying thing on the horizon. Now, so far, Zelensky has not been touched, but a lot of people around him have been touched by the corruption investigation going on, and that's an existential concern for Ukraine.
Yeah, and there's a gentleman that I want to bring to your attention. And Lev let it slip yesterday in breaking news on our weekend roundup, which happened on Monday, which was great because it's the day after the weekend. Do you know who again, let's play question and answer. I love this game.
Yeah.
Do you know who the Ukrainian ambassador to the UK is?
Ukrainian ambassador to the UK. I
Yeah,
think you might have
Google it for a
stumped me.
second. Let's do it for fun. Let's have fun.
I think you've stumped me on this one.
Yeah, Google it.
Google it. Okay. 1 second.
Yeah, Google it. It's a good one. You'll like it. Everybody stay with me. We're going to force Zev to Google the Ukrainian ambassador to Ukraine.
Not knowing things. It drives me nuts.
I know.
It's Valery Zulishny.
Zalushny.
Yeah.
He is beloved in Ukraine. He is a general in the Ukrainian army. He landed in Ukraine 2 days ago and tweeted, "I'm happy to be home." Now, if Trump wants regime change, and he might get it, Zelensky and his team are really busy trying to remove themselves in these discussions of corruption. Because Zelensky's not corrupt. But Zelensky, to me, is like Trudeau. Justin Trudeau. He is not the man for the moment right now anymore. As much as I love him, and I fucking love Zelensky. I do. I think he has been the greatest cheerleader to save his country that you could have possibly imagined at the moment. But we're at an inflection point where it requires a hard ass to make hard decisions, not appease Russia, not want relations with Russia, not want to appease the United States, want relations with Donald Trump. But they need a guy who can't be bought. America tried to buy Zelensky over the past 2-3 years, specifically since Trump came back into office. Tried to buy him 5 years ago, tried to buy him now. Hey, listen, if you start an uprising against Zelensky, we'll give you all this money, we'll put you in charge, and you'll be the guy. And he's like, go fuck yourself. I'm Ukrainian. Really? Yeah. So Zelensky is on the ground in Ukraine, and if we see regime change, you know when they say, be careful what you ask for because you just might get it? Zelensky is that guy.
Well, let's hope he's clean as he needs to be. We'll see what happens. In the number one story, Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has been the administration's loudest tariff cheerleader. But his sons are running Cantor Fitzgerald, have created a market to buy tariff refund rights at 20 to 30 cents on the dollar. They're betting that SCOTUS will strike down Trump's emergency tariffs and trigger a $100 billion refund bonanza that they fully intend to partake in. This is a story from deanblundell.substack.com. It's incredible to believe that Lutnick's sons are involved in a scheme to profit off the end of tariffs. It almost makes me think, did they know the tariffs weren't going to be around for that long?
You think?
You think? Maybe. Just an idea.
I mean, this is one of those stories that kind of glossed over everybody in July.
Yeah.
And I read it. And then I'm like, I'm gonna fucking bookmark that for another day because I need to go back to that story about Howard Lutnick's sons, who, when he left to go and join Trump as a special fucking envoy to bullshit, who's just a fucking criminal. He's corrupt as fuck. He's a con man like Trump is. He's an old fat pal of Trump's, who ran Cantor Fitzgerald, which is a fucking bullshit financial organization. Always has been, always will be. Everybody knows it. I don't need to tell you about it because you probably know anything about Cantor Fitzgerald. Well, I mean, they're part in the 2008. What's that?
Why isn't Cantor Fitzgerald the one company involved in 9/11 that was really like a question mark about how come?
Yeah.
How come he wasn't there? I think he was not there, right? That was the story.
No, he should have been there, but wasn't there because he probably fucking knew.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Why wasn't he there? Because he knew. I mean, we could say it. I don't know why people are so scared of this 9/11 story. It really is a story that most of us sort of know. it's, people knew about 9/11 before 9/11 took its place. And some people inside the Russian mob were involved in that, clearly, because some people knew not to show up at work that day, like Mr. Lutnick. And there's just, he's no coincidence. He was living next door to, he was living next door, wasn't it him? Was it
Epstein? Yeah,
living next to Epstein for the longest time. Trump also seemed to be, really aware of what was going on that day by calling into radio stations. I mean, Giuliani seemed to be pretty aware of what was going on that day in that triumphant march that he took, in front of all the news media, telling people what to do as rubble is falling all over the place. That's not Giuliani. I mean, we all know Rudy Giuliani's a scared guy. He's not going to walk down the street unless he knows it's perfectly safe, unless he knows it's the role he has to play. And there's a whole lot of questions around money and all sorts of other things that happened on that day.
And then Trump saying immediately after it happened, he goes, "I guess I own the biggest skyscraper in New York now, Manhattan." Yeah.
So,
listen,
let's talk about that's what happened in 9/11. It's clearly the Russians were involved somehow. I will say it out loud. The Russians likely involved in 9/11 somehow. We don't quite know yet how, but
well, let's bear it out.
Yeah.
Let's bear that out, and let's kind of move the goalposts back to Lutnick and his sons.
Yeah.
Inside information is really important, right? Keeps you alive, keeps you rich. You get a head start on everybody else.
Oh yeah.
This deal, this tariff rebate deal, this business line of business that Cantor Fitzgerald is doing right now. They're going around to people, businesses, small and big, multinational business, saying, "Hey, we know you got hit hard by the tariffs. We know you're in a cash crunch. Cantor Fitzgerald is nice. We're going to give you 20 to 30 cents on the dollar on your tariff dollar. We'll give you that money right now. So let's say you're a company that's out 10 million. We'll give you 2 to 3 million. Then when you get the rebate check for the tariff scam that Trump has ran on the American people, not foreigners, it's on the American people. That's who paid it, to the tune of almost $300 billion over the past 10 months. When you get that rebate check, you send us the delta, which is the difference. So that when it comes to 10 million, they'll get 7 million or 8 million, depending on the deal that they cut. And so nothing happens at that level without a deep insider trading understanding of what the outcome will probably be. In the next week to 2 weeks, it could happen as early as this week. SCOTUS is going to, the Supreme Court of the United States, is going to rule against Donald Trump's tariff scam. And there's going to be a run on these rebates for so many people. I don't know if you saw that Costco filed a suit against the United States of America today.
I saw that
saying, we want our fucking money back, dickhead, because we know SCOTUS is going to offer us that money back, and they're going to strike down your IEPA bullshit and your emergency bullshit management system of tariffing people, including us and the American people we had to pass that money on. And we want our fucking money back. And it is hundreds of millions of dollars. And Howard Lutnick knows. He knows this is not going to work. That's why he's running around going, it's going to work. SCOTUS is going to do it. They're going to do it. And meanwhile, behind the scenes, him and his greasy fucking sons have developed a line of business where they can profit off of the SCOTUS decision that is incoming. And if you think for a second that Howard Lutnick doesn't already know that Donald Trump is going to get fucking kneecapped, but in the process, he can enrich himself, his clients, and more importantly, his family. You're nuts. That's
Dean,
what's happening.
Dean, I could kiss you. You are so good. You're so good. That is an amazing, 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 amazing find that you found there. And it fits in with everything else we've been saying about this criminal regime and what they're doing. This is another pump and dump, basically. They basically pumped up all this tariff craziness in order to profit off it. It's the same thing they've been doing for years. And they, in Greatest Heist, I am about to get to chapter 5, where you're going to find out all about how they did this in 2008 when they collapsed the mortgage market, and how Jeffrey Epstein personally did it. And it's the same shit. It's the same thing. They're just taking money out of the American taxpayer pockets, lining it for themselves, and getting away with trillions and trillions of dollars. And America falls for this again and again and again. And it's why I'm constantly saying, all these guys need to be behind bars. They're absolute criminals. They need to go to jail. It's not like they're just fudging the books or they didn't know or, I didn't know my kids were doing that. They know everything. They know what they're doing. They're stealing your money.
Without them, their kids can't do it.
Yeah.
Like without Howard Lutnick, his kids aren't doing this line of business on rebate deltas. Like it's the same thing with Donald Trump buying bonds, buying pieces of companies that they're nationalizing, whether it's NVIDIA, et cetera, Donald Trump Jr. It's the same thing in Ukraine. It is the same thing in Venezuela. It is all about fucking money. It has nothing to do with you. It's got nothing to do with America's security. It's got nothing to do with national relevance. It's got nothing to do with anything other than how can we fuck you over?
Yeah, and this is a criminal gang that have taken over America, and they're doing everything they can to take away as much money as possible without anyone noticing. But we're noticing, and we're reporting to you daily. America's got to get angry about this and has got to get these people out of office. This is not the kind of thing that can wait until the next presidential election. It has to happen this coming November. And then we might be getting a signal of what it could be like in the elections today in, is it Tennessee or Mississippi?
Tennessee, 7th District, Nashville, Afton Bain, who I met.
Ruby red.
Dude, there's a plus 22 district, right?
Yeah.
Trump won at plus 22 in 2024. And Afton Bain, who I met when I was in Nashville for meetings that I can't talk about. I love this. I love this game. Is incredible. She's the Democrat. She's running for the Democratic Party in Nashville, the special election. Green left. He's like, fuck, I can't do this anymore. I hate Donald Trump. And so there's a special election. And there was plus 22 in the last election, in the last federal election. And they're neck and neck today. If Afton Bain wins, the House actually flips.
They're freaking out. The Republicans are freaking
Did you see
out.
Did you see Donald Trump's tweet thread?
The begging,
don't vote for that girl. She's the
he's begging people to go out today. Today, on voting day, he's saying, please go out because, they're obviously seeing the signs. This was the safest seat you could imagine. And it's obviously very, very close, if anything. And it looks like she could win. I mean, it is astonishing how badly the Republicans are performing, even in Republican districts. So this message of this criminal gang is getting out there. And we should be focusing on next year's November elections right now. We should be electing the next president next November. The next Speaker of the House is going to be the President of the United States if we can do it correctly. And it's not that hard to imagine impeaching both Trump and Vance and getting the next Speaker of the House to be the President of the United States.
Amazing, because J.D. Vance has been persona non grata for the past 5 days. I don't know if you've seen that. He hasn't said a word. So...
Oh, I think wasn't he negotiating something? I thought he was negotiating something.
He doesn't negotiate anything. He's just a couch humping fuck. That's all.
What a waste of space. Also, where's Erica Kirk is what I want to know.
He goes and sees her on Tuesdays and Thursdays in Tennessee, by the way. Just wanted to point that out.
He does?
Yeah. Born out by flight logs.
Oh my gosh.
Are they seriously his wife is no longer wearing a wedding ring and she's running around giving speeches and stuff like that. And it was like a month ago, he's like, Usha's a Hindu.
Well,
he's like, I wish she would be a Christian, but she's a fucking Hindu.
He's really unelectable at that point,
Yeah. So, well, that's the promise of Erica Kirk, right?
Should we end the show with a little check-in on Megyn Kelly?
Yeah, please.
So I really do kind of not only want to see them killed in the water, whether they're on the boat or in the water, but I'd really like to see them suffer. I would like Trump and Hegseth to make it last a long time, so that they lose a limb and bleed out a little. Like, I'm really having a difficult time ginning up sympathy for these guys who 10 seconds earlier almost got taken out by the initial bomb, but because they managed to get ejected, a little too soon, had to be taken out in the water. I realize legally it may make a difference, but truly, Mark, this is a tough case to really gin up the sympathies of the American people. Yeah. So I really do kind of not only want to see them killed in the water, whether they're on the boat or in the water, but I'd really like to see them suffer.
Really,
like
Megyn,
Trump and
bleed out their limbs.
I want to see them bleed out.
Bleed out a little. Like, I'm really having a difficult time.
Keep going.
Bleed out a little.
Keep going. These guys who 10 seconds earlier almost got taken out by the
I can't deal with it.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Can I say something?
Of course.
I think this all the time, every time I see that woman open up her mouth. I wish she wasn't attractive.
She's not,
Like,
though. The way she speaks,
wow,
she's saying, how
if
can you
she-
even think? I mean,
if
she's
she was
just,
a
it is the most
mute,
disgusting thing I've ever heard
if
anyone
she
talk
was,
about.
oh fuck, she's a
Two
pig.
people are clinging to boats for their life, and they're in the
I want to watch her
ocean.
bleed out a little.
And she wants to
Wanna watch
see them
them
bleed
suffer.
out. I mean, who is she? Who is this
Well,
woman?
she's the same woman who was like, "Hey, listen, pedophilia should only begin at 5."
And she's got a
Like,
15-year-old daughter. I mean, I was like, 15-year-old daughter, maybe like in the Epstein thing, and you're like okay with it. It's just
Of course, she's okay with it. She would Megyn Kelly would sell her own daughter into the sex trade if it mattered to her career.
probably.
Fact.
Yeah.
Megyn Kelly's a disaster.
Yeah.
And she's also a terrible fucking broadcaster. What you just heard there was someone who was so ill-equipped to have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
She went right to I want to watch him suffer. Well, like, she is so fucking stupid. And the shame is that a lot of really derelict, dumb dudes watch that and go, I'd hit that. Like, and they take everything she says as like, yeah, it doesn't matter what's coming out of her mouth. She looks good saying it. And that's the shame of Megyn Kelly, is that she was on the other side of Donald Trump when he was mocking her for having a period, if you remember that, like about 10 years ago, blood coming out of whatever. He was like going after Megyn Kelly, and she was on the right side of history. She, like, every single fucking Tim Pool acolyte, Benny Johnson. In Canada, I would put Ben Mulrooney in that category, Viva Frey into that category, has literally traded their fucking moral compass for money. Megyn Kelly is not just dumb. She is morally reprehensible. And she's playing a fucking role. And that role is, how can I continue to endear myself to my fucking paycheck? Because if I'm not this person, I am nothing. And she knows it. And that's the fucking great part about people like her, people like Viva Frey, people like Ben Mulrooney.
Wow, you could get out for Ben Mulrooney, eh?
Oh, I fucking hate the guy. And he's a friend of mine, and he's just embarrassed himself. Yeah, I know. I love him, but I hate him because like, he used to be a really good human being, and he's turned into like the nerdy incel version of Canada's Joe Rogan, and because of that, his wife just fucking left him. It's fucking wild to watch.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, Jessica Brown, the Brownstein furniture magnate family. Ben Mulrooney's turned into like they've all just cashed in their fucking morals for a paycheck and for a little more relevance. But what they don't understand is when this ends, when the merry-go-round stops, they're fucked.
I hope so. I'm not sure that Americans realize yet how serious the criminality is, and how this is not Ben Mulrooney, obviously, but the criminality is incredibly serious. It's stolen $80 trillion by some estimates out of the American economy. Your futures, your children's futures, your homes, your everything, your careers has been stolen out from underneath your feet. And these people have gotten away with it for so long, they expect they're going to get away with it again. So if we don't make it very clear to people right now that these crimes are happening, as you pointed out with this incredible Cantor with Fitzgerald story that you're revealing right now, there is, this is real crime. This is the real shit. This is what's really happening. And it's stealing
I just like
America.
that you swore. I like you just said shit.
Oh, is that a swear word? I guess so.
I don't think so anymore. I hear it a lot on news media, but like, you're not a
Nicole
swearer.
Wallace says shit.
Yeah, Nicole Wallace is fucking awesome, though.
She is awesome.
I am of the firm
fan.
opinion that unless you swear, I don't want to be your friend. Now, hearing you swear, I'm really happy that we can continue to be friends.
I swear occasionally. Occasionally, I swear.
You need to do it more. You need to do more. It's cathartic.
People, when you swear, I get the emails. They don't email you. They say, hey, can't you get that guy Dean to stop swearing? And I'm like, I can't.
Do you really get that email? Do you get the email about my swearing?
Occasionally, I get people who say, don't swear, don't vape, don't do all these things. I'm like, I don't care what he does. It doesn't make a difference to me.
Listen, folks, I got to tell you something.
It doesn't make a difference.
We'll end here.
It enhances the show.
If you want me to stop swearing, don't send Zev an email. Don't send him a DM. Send it to me. And if you want me to stop vaping,
it's fine.
Send it to me as well. And I will tell you this, as off-putting as all of it might be, I'm not going to change.
I don't want you
to continue to be I'm just warning everybody.
Okay, but I need you to not change, please. I love that you're not.
All right, I won't. I promise.
Dean Blundell from deanblundell.substack.com. That is the place for the best news, morning and day and night, you name it. Dean Blundell has the best takes, and he showed you today with two incredible stories. This story about Cantor Fitzgerald is huge. It really needs people to pay attention to it, because if this tariff thing has just been another Russian mob scam, which it seems
It
like
is.
it has, then we've got a very serious problem on our hands. And Dean Blundell has all the details at deanblundell.substack.com, plus all the stories about the president's health and a whole lot of other amazing things that you can only get there. So subscribe today to deanblundell.substack.com.
And I have like full disclosure. I had a Cyber Monday deal yesterday, 50% off annual subscriptions. Totally forgot to change it. So it exists again today. So if you want, I'm way
Great at the
too
admin stuff and
way
the
too
IT
busy.
stuff. He's
not
really good.
interested
It's really
in
good.
I'll change it tomorrow. We'll do a new thing. But anyway, it's still there. And go check it out. I'm a terrible entrepreneur. Want you to subscribe. Want you to share this. Want you to enjoy this. And I want everybody to go and subscribe to narrative.org. Your Greatest Heist series it's episode chapter
book
4, book 2.
Yeah. Chapter 4 right now, but you're going to get chapter 5 this week. It's going to get good. It's going to get really good. It's just heating up right now. It's just heating up. There's things coming that you're not seeing, and they're like, oh my God, they did what? So this is just a slow build. I'm enjoying writing it. I got to say, it's really like it allows my brain to go places.
It's just it's like you you know, when I say this with all due respect to anybody that is writing about Epstein, and I know there are a lot of people that do it, but it's like you have opened up a curtain to 4 decades for people that put the entire puzzle together. If I could give anybody a vote of confidence today to try, because I'm a guy that has to understand context. I need to know everything. I need to know what went into this, into that, what led to this, which is why we're here. There's one person on this planet doing that work, and it's Zev Shalev. Go to narrative.org, become a paid subscriber today so you can read it. Become a free subscriber today so you can continue to interact with us and comment. And we want you in our lives. We're so grateful that you're here. We're you. We are you. We do this work because we love you and we know you love us. But more importantly, we're here to act as Sherpas, and there's no better Sherpa when it comes to the Epstein files and Donald Trump and what America's going through and who's responsible for it than that man right there, Mr. Zev Shalev. So please go and subscribe to him at narrative.org. And thank you all for joining us for the FiveStack today. It is our pleasure, labor of love, and I mean that. No labor when you love it. It's just a privilege to be able to be in your lives, and we got an hour to do it today. So please continue to share this, and please, whatever you do, don't believe anybody but us. It's really important.
I'll be back it really is important, but I'll be back at 7 o'clock with Olga Lautman for the Trump Tyranny Track, and also Ellie Leonard will be on tonight. She's going to talk a little bit about Epstein's, the stuff she's found out about Bannon, but also about the investigation that's still ongoing and whether we will see the files by the 19th, which I'm betting we will. That is a FiveStack for today, December the 2nd. Have a great one. Bye-bye.